Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Now scheduling patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. Call 217-784-4340.
News time, 7 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Before we get to news on this Monday, let's take a quick look at some of the closings and cancellations that have come into Regional Radio for today. Cerro Gordo schools will be closed today and we'll do an e-learning day. Maroa Forsyth schools will also be doing an e-learning day today, and Warrensburg Latham will move its Teacher Institute scheduled for today to tomorrow, Tuesday, January 7th, and will have students return to class on Wednesday, January 8th, with no e-learning in place for Tuesday, January 7th. That, of course, is the latest we have here at DeWittDailyNews.com. We welcome into the morning show here this morning DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker to give us an update on road conditions. Sheriff, where do we find you, and how do we find you this morning, sir?
Well, Seth, I'm just now getting into Waynesville, coming up County Highway 17 south into town here. So I've been out and about for about an hour now, driving some of the state routes, township roads, and county highways.
What are you seeing, Sheriff?
In pretty good about 4:30 this morning. And
Sheriff, we lost you there. Hey, Sheriff, we lost you there. Can you start that thought over? I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you. I think you're finding a dead spot there over by Waynesville.
Yeah, sorry about that. I said I talked to my patrol sergeant about 4:30 this morning, and he said that the roads were not in too bad a shape, but that he'd seen the Illinois Department of Transportation all night. So the state routes are in pretty good shape, obviously, and hazardous in some areas. For the most part, they were pretty clear. The county highways are in pretty good shape. Got some drifting in areas, and the township roads are obviously a little bit worse because they don't have, you got your road commissioners out trying to take care of quite a bit of roads with a limited pass. So roads are passable. Obviously, you need to take caution if you need to get somewhere or leave a little bit early today.
Now, Sheriff, I know that if folks have questions about road conditions, they should call CENTCOM, right, and get the information there, if I'm not mistaken. That's correct, right?
Well, they can do that. The best way to do it as far as state routes is get on the Department of Transportation site, and that gives you a more accurate idea. As far as calling CENTCOM, we really, if you can avoid that, because they're not out and about, they really don't know unless the deputies have told them. Plus, you might be tying up a line for an emergency call. So, best thing to do is look at the IDOT website for those state routes. Local roads, I mean, I would say you can probably figure they're going to be just maybe a little bit worse than the state routes. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in town this morning wasn't too awful bad. 51 wasn't really bad either. I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised at the condition of 51 this morning.
Yeah, what you're seeing on 51 is basically the same thing that I saw on, because I've been down 51 and I've been on Route 10 and Route 54, and they're all pretty much similar condition. Clear for a period of time, and then obviously some snow-covered patches.
No doubt. Sheriff, you mentioned emergencies. Have you had many calls of cars in ditches or anything like that?
As far as I know, we haven't had any since the event started.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. So things are going well. Roads are in surprisingly good condition. Have you heard a number in terms of snowfall we got, Sheriff? The snow out front of my yard this morning was awfully deep. Have you heard a number for snow in this area?
I talked to our EMA coordinator last night and about 8:30, and he said we were measuring between 3 and 5 inches throughout the county, and I think we may have gotten another inch or so overnight. So I'd say probably between that 4 and 6 inch range, just depending on where you are in the county. So probably about like what the weatherman was saying in the briefings that our EMA coordinator had throughout the weekend.
Very good. Well, Sheriff, be safe out there. I know you're on the morning show with us here in a bit, so we'll see you in a couple hours.
Sure. Hey, well, one more thing real quick. I do want to let everybody know that the DeWitt County Courthouse will be open today, business as usual. However, due to unrelated weather conditions, the courts will not be holding court today. Judge Courts is canceling court for today for other reasons other than the weather. So if you just put that out for us, we'd appreciate it.
Will do, Sheriff. Hey, be safe. Like I said, we'll see you here in a bit.
Yep, see you in a couple hours, Seth. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sheriff. That's DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker, who joins us here on the morning show, getting an update on the road conditions here for this Monday. Of course, the first kind of significant winter storm of the season rolling through Sunday and into the overnight last night. You heard the sheriff say that the main roads are very passable this morning. I can attest to that, having gone through a few of the main roads in Clinton and then obviously 51 to get out here to the radio station this morning. And so 51, like I said, pleasantly surprised with how good of condition it was here this morning. But roads are the main roads are passable. If you're going to be using any of those secondary roads, obviously give yourself a little extra time to get out. And the sheriff did mention County Courthouse is open today, business as usual in DeWitt County. DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker also on the morning show coming up here at 9:30 this morning. So join us for that here on the WHOW Morning Show. All right, let's get to the news here on this Monday. Again, brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agents in Clinton. It's not often students are excused from class for a sporting event during the school day, but the rules for a local rivalry are just a little different. Sarah Gordo Mint basketball players Jillian Dervin, Brandon Puckett, and Cooper Benson explain this year is the second annual Corn Bowl Classic, where they take on Arthur Lovington at Wood Hammond.
I'm a sophomore, and the Corn Bowl Classic is where our basketball team will play Arthur's basketball team, and the band will perform, our cheerleaders will perform, and it's just an amazing opportunity to just have a big crowd going and everything.
Our Corn Bowl Classic is Friday, January 10th during the school day. The girls play at 10 a.m. and the boys play at noon. Everybody from 6th through 12th grade gets out and will be in the crowd, and then BMET buses all of their students over, and Arthur will bus all of their students over as well.
Well, there's going to be cheerleaders cheering, and there's going to be contests and awards given out during halftime, and the mascots usually form a little show and they go back and forth with each other. And the trophy is made by the Arthur shop glasses, and it's huge. It's probably up to a normal person's waist. It's a basketball with corn kernels on the side of it.
The Corn Bowl trophy is currently in the hands of Arthur Lovington at Wood Hammond, and the students say they're looking forward to working together to bring that trophy home.
This year, I'm definitely looking forward to working with my team to try to beat Arthur and take back the Corn Bowl trophy. So hopefully we can win this.
I think the best part's obviously playing, but also just the atmosphere of the gym. Everybody's screaming, everybody's jumping up and down. Whenever we do handshakes before the game, everybody's just so loud. It's just a really good atmosphere.
Superintendent of Sarah Gordo Schools, Dr. Emily Widener, notes the big event was started by Sarah Gordo High School's principal in collaboration with Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond's athletic director.
Yeah, this is Mr. Willard, our principal, who's also our head basketball coach for the boys. And the athletic director at Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond is Nathan Seal. So they had heard about Pickneyville doing this game and starting that tradition a few years ago. And so they pitched it to their superintendents. I was a little skeptical at first, I have to be honest, about getting all our students out of school during the day and traveling down to Arthur and things like that. But it was a blast. It was a great atmosphere, like the kids said. And a lot of times our athletes are busy during each other's games. So the girls have practice when the boys have a game, things like that. or both have games on the same night. So this is a really cool chance for everybody to be at a game, and it just is a really fun kind of electric atmosphere. So we're looking forward to hosting it.
Dr. Widener invites the community to pack their gym for this electric rivalry game. Both games take place on Friday, January 10th. The girls tip off at 10 a.m. and the boys will begin at noon. As Central Illinois University of Illinois Extension Director is hoping to encourage more kindness in her communities through an initiative she's introducing this year. Terry Miller Casey, Director of the University of Illinois Extension in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties, explains their Be Kind 2025 initiative focuses on remembering to be kind when others forget.
I decided that let's make this 2025 the year of Be Kind. And so we're kind of focusing on that with our programs and with 4-H. We know that sometimes this world's not so kind. And so we really want to help our youth and our families know that kindness is always the best way. So I got really clever and I created an acronym with a saying that goes along with each letter of Be Kind. And so it goes like this: be kind, be respectful, speak with kindness and respect because it's the right thing to do. E, expect respect. 4-H expects respect and kindness from our adults and youths in all programs and interactions. K, kindness matters. Kindness reflects the heart in 4-H. I, inspire others. Set a high standard and example for our youth and the public. N, never be rude. It hurts people. It stops cooperation and it solves nothing. And then D, demonstrate kindness, show compassion in all our interactions.
It's easy to think that generations younger than you are lazy or don't care, but Miller Casey points out people have said that for generations, and she sees every day just how kind and caring kids can be.
They are some of the sweetest kids you'll ever meet. And I've said this many, many times to you, Seth, about how impressed I am with the next generation and how sometimes I think we get worried. We hear things or we think, oh, this group of kids, they don't care or they're lazy or same thing that's been said for generations.
Right.
But I can tell you, these kids really do care and they have a great measure of kindness. And I think we should give all of ourselves a little bit of credit that we're trying our best to raise kids who are not only great leaders, because that's something that 4-H I think does very well, raise great leaders and people who are great problem solvers and work well with others, but we're also teaching them that heart in the 4-H, that kindness is important in a world that sometimes isn't always kind. And so once again, we want to be the leaders as 4-H members, as 4-H community, in setting the tone in 2025 of we're working together, we're cooperating together because we have a shared reason to, our love of our community.
According to Miller Casey, the challenges faced by young people today are vastly different than that of their elders, but kindness is a value that should and can be held by everyone.
Oh, absolutely. The youth today, they can't escape it. There's so much technology, and we know that it kind of creates an anonymity where people feel emboldened to not be kind in their social media. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm sure we all have those kids that weren't very kind at school, but we would come home and we could get away from it. And in many ways, it's difficult for them to escape it. But also, I'm going to say this, as adults, we set the example. So as adults, we need to be showing that kindness and respect. We need to not be rude. We need to think about what we're saying, even if it's behind a screen. And so I'm thinking that sometimes the children help us lead the way. So I want us as adults to also remember that we're setting the example for our youth.
Miller Casey plans to put up a poster in their offices and maybe even make it a t-shirt to help remind people of the initiative.
Yes, I'm going to polish off my old artistic skills and maybe I'll get some help from our talented 4-H youth who would do a lot better than I would. But yeah, my plan is to kind of create a poster with the BEKINDs and kind of spread that word. My daughter, she would say, get a t-shirt, Mom, because apparently you get a t-shirt for everything now. So maybe I'll work on that. But
there
yeah,
you go.
we're hoping to and also include it in our newsletter and just remind all of us that it's so much better to live in a world that's kind.
For more information on programming, resources, and 4-H in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties, visit extension.illinois.edu/LMS. 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday. We'll continue on next on WHOW.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Monday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with the folks today for this expanded local newscast. As road crews continue to respond to the wintry mix that has blanketed Illinois, the Department of Transportation reminds they are clearing the roads as quick as they can, but need your help. That includes slowing down and giving their trucks plenty of room to operate. The best advice when roads are bad, as IDOT engineer Joe Monroe says, is maybe to just stay home.
It's our job to make sure folks can get, to see their doctors, check on loved ones, seek medical care. So if it's an essential trip for you personally and you're comfortable that trip needs to be made in that event, the women and men behind the plows at IDOT will be out to allow you to make that trip. But if it's something that can be delayed and certainly give us a little more time to improve the situation, we would encourage everyone to do so.
If you do venture out, experts say you should avoid using cruise control when the roads are snowy and icy. To stay up to date on the latest winter road conditions, go to gettingaroundillinois.com. Ameren, Illinois is on alert during the winter season to respond to any power outages. If damage requires a large-scale effort to get the lights back on, Ameren, Illinois is ready to hit the road as part of their ability to press their mobile storm trailers into service. Ameren, Illinois spokesman Brian Bresch says when they respond to an area, they do have a strategy in place.
We tried to first restore all critical customers, that being hospitals, police stations, fire departments, etc., nursing homes. And then from there, we try to bring as many people back on as possible. So we'll start with our larger power lines like transmission, and then we'll work down to smaller neighborhoods. And then usually what's left in terms of the remaining customers or what we call the onesies and the twosies.
You may see an Ameren, Illinois truck in the area before the actual repairs begin. That would be a unit scouting the area to see what kind of materials and resources are needed. Bresch reminds even if your entire neighborhood is without power, you should still call 800-755-5000 to report your own outage. 24 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday, just a quick review of the closings and cancellations that we have here for today. Cerro Gordo schools and Maroa Forsyth schools will utilize e-learning or remote days today, while Warrensburg Latham schools have postponed its Teacher Institute scheduled for today to tomorrow, and the return of students to school has been moved to January 8th. There will be no e-learning for Tuesday, January 7th, and again, that in Warrensburg Latham schools here for this morning. And again, get the latest in closings and cancellations at DeWittDailyNews.com. The 2025 Miss Illinois County Fair pageant, Queen Pageant is set for later this month in Springfield. Among the contestants, Miss Ogle County Fair Queen Blakelyn Swanson, who is also a livestock exhibitor during the county fair season.
There's definitely a lot of differences, but you can find some similarities in there as well. I would say definitely not as much talking, but when you go out for showmanship, you will get asked a few questions, and even then, you start to feel a little nervous. And even just your stage presence, you got to have a lot of really good, you have to have stage presence when you're competing for the pageant, and even in the show ring. You have to have a presence to you that you're confident in yourself and your animal, and you feel almost as one. I've learned a lot over the years, and I can pretty confidently say that I'm decent in the show ring, so There's a lot that goes into it. Now the difference is there's a lot there. I mean, you don't have to worry. You can only worry about yourself when you're on the stage, but when you're in the show ring, you have a lot to worry about your animal. You have to make sure you know where they are, where your judge is, and just focusing on the little things that no one else probably notices, but they're really important to yourself and probably your judge as well. So it's really important to see the raw, real life of some of this stuff, because I think a lot of times it's overlooked. No one sees what we do in the barn. No one sees what we're doing at home. So I honestly am really excited to get to share my experiences of what I've gone through. And I do a lot of this stuff on my own. Obviously, I have a lot of people helping me today, but when I'm at home, I do a lot of it by myself. So I'm really excited to just get to show everyone what it's like to show livestock. And I do work on a farm too, so I'm excited to share my experiences on the farm as well.
The 2025 Miss Illinois County Fair Queen will be crowned on January 19th. Visiting every state park in Illinois is the goal of Stephanie Swyka and Emily McGrady from the Chicagoland area. They're blogging the experience, and Swyka says it's called the Fresh Air Friendship.
So I'll start off by saying we weren't like outdoor people growing up. We both grew up in the city, very urban. But during COVID, we kind of found ourselves going out to natural areas and finding places where we could kind of relax and kind of get away from it all for a minute, put the phone down, put the phone away, and just hang out in nature. So we would continuously go to Starved Rock, because when you're from Chicago, that's kind of where everybody goes. So I think we went like 3 or 4 times during COVID lockdowns and just went out to explore. And then one day after we'd driven back, I got home and I was binge watching Netflix, and I was like, you know what? I bet there's a lot of cool other places in the state like we can go explore and hang out and go hike at. So I actually made a giant spreadsheet of 135 properties from the IDNR's website. I shared it with our friend group. So we've been friends since high school. Emma took me up on this crazy idea, and now we're well on our way. We're about halfway done.
The two have been named Outdoor Influencer of the Year by the Illinois Conservation Foundation. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Monday. Get the latest in closings and cancellations at DeWittDailyNews.com. One that has just come into regional radio here this morning is the Warner Library will open today at 1 p.m. Again, Warner Library in Clinton will open today at 1 p.m. Just a delayed opening for the library here in Clinton. And again, the latest in closings and cancellations is at DeWittDailyNews.com. Coverage of news today is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent.